Street apologist. 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 On the radio.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How you doing? My name is Vocab Malone. You are now rocking with Street Apologist Live, Christian Urban Apologetics, coming at you. Today is Wednesday, October 10th. I'm sorry. Man, I messed up already. Wednesday, October 9th. And the date, we already said the date. The time. Yeah, that's what I meant to say. The time is about 4:02. At least it is here on the West Coast. And as you can tell on the screen, you should know what we're going to be discussing. What are we going to be discussing? The Philly trip. Some of you guys know that I just got back from Philly. And so let's discuss Philly because pretty much everything related there was related to urban apologetics. And in fact, the main aspect or reason of why we even went on the trip at the first place, and when I say we, I kind of mean the Apologetics A-team as we call ourselves, was to go to the Super Bowl, the very first Super Bowl of Urban Apologetics, Brother Jabari versus Vince Bantu. Now, if you guys are wanting a straight review 100%, you'll be let down by this show. If you want a review mixed in with some other stuff, we'll go for about an hour and a half, and that's what we'll discuss, because I'm also going to talk about some of the other stuff that we did on our trip and some other things that popped off. I might do a straight, hardcore 100% review later once the video drops, as the video of the debate is not out yet. So, go ahead and hit that like button, please. And then also, if you could go ahead and what else do you need to do? Oh, yeah, grab this link and share it. And subscribe to the channel. Nice. All right. Hey, what's up, Tony Tabano? How you doing? What's up, Nate? What's up, NJ? My man, MJ. All right. So here's what we're going to do. I'm actually going to play some video and some pictures. And I'm going to apologize off the bat. Some of the pictures and video I took, some of them I got from my friends, and to be honest, I lost track of who deserves credit for what. So if that's the case and I show something that you did, you could let me know and I'll put credit. I'm sorry, it is my fault, I'm sorry. But it's all the homie stuff I'm using. I just forget who took what. And so I'm going to be showing some of it here today. And this will be an interactive show. And we're going to talk about going to Philly. So the deal is that David Wood, my man, said, hey, we need to do some more apologetics road trips where we get together, we hang out, we kick it, we take footage, all that stuff. And so we put together an apologetics road trip to go see the Brother Jabari Vince Bantu debate in Philly. And we traveled from about 8 hours away, and along the way we picked up some of the homies. We got Marcus Webb, who actually you can see picture right here, see right there, right about where the bridge, the top of my, in between my eyes. He's like right in between my eyes. See him right there. Boom. Hey, you got Marcus Webb, and then we got Brother Bree. And well, we didn't drive up with him. That's just, I was just telling you who else is in the picture. And Eric Mason actually photobombed us, believe it or not. He wasn't in the picture. It's kind of funny. But so this is an apologetics trip review from Philly. MJ Jackson, because he sees the pictures and stuff, and he knows that Captain Tazariak from the ISUPK was there. And so he asked if there's any pictures of me and Tazariak. No. I would have been okay, with doing that. But I didn't ask Tazariak because I already know the way he rolls. And I know that he would, not do it. And I don't want to act like I'm really sweating it because I'm not. It's more like interesting historical, thing to document. The fact that we had a conversation, off record, kind of to the side. That's pretty cool. But at the same time, we didn't get any together. And that's all right. It is what it is with all that. So no MJ. But my man Adam Coleman did get a picture with Captain Tazariak of the ISUPK. All right, well, let's jump over here And what I'm going to do is I'm going to show some pictures. So here, first of all, is actually, the debate itself. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, this is the debate that I'm referring to right here. And it was a big deal. A lot of behind the scenes drama. Nothing I'm going to talk about on air as far as who's going to debate and the topics and all kinds of stuff like that. But it worked out at the end of the day. And basically, Chris Broussard and Dr. Eric Mason really grabbed the bull by the horns and took leadership. And it was at Epiphany, on Diamond there in Philly. And that's where Dr. Eric Mason is pastor. And Chris Broussard, he's like a Fox Sports analyst or whatever, mainly NBA stuff. He went ahead and hosted it and helped make it happen. And he's got something called the King Movement. And they were involved and they made it happen. And it was just really dope. And so that was why we drove up there. It was me, Adam Coleman, and my man Marcus Webb. We're the ones who, drove up there. And it was fantastic. We had a fun drive. We talked a lot of, deep stuff, to be honest, on the way. Got into a lot of philosophy and just all kinds of stuff. And I'll show you us driving up there. There we go. Pictures, man. I know it's going to do this. There's us driving up there in the van. I drove the final leg. David drove most of it. And me and Marcus Webb, who's an ex-Hebrew Israelite, by the way. He's used to be the main officer leader who established the Hampton IUIC Virginia camp, and then now is a solid believer in the Lord. And we were discussing predestination and election and foreknowledge in Romans 9 through 11 and Ephesians 1 and 2 and systematic theologies and Calvinism and Arminianism and Reformed theology and Wesleyan and holiness and Molinist and all kinds of stuff. It was amazing conversation. And then, Adam and me, we had a conversation talking about is evolution compatible with the scripture, and just a lot of really great conversations. So that's us rolling up there, trying to make it, just in time to make sure we get there to get that Saturday time, because it was on a Saturday, of course, and we had to be there by 2:00 because that's when it was going to jump off. And by God's grace, we made it. And so that's us going up there. And then once we got there, I had to take a couple pictures in Philly there, and that's one. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you've seen some of these pictures already. So I'm just kind of, what people do, they show you after they took a trip. So I'm showing you guys, and here I am hiding behind my own picture. These are going to be different sizes, so that's kind of how it is. Now, I also want to show you some Philly video here.
Dear Black Boy, I thought I would inform you. Webster defines black as dirty.
All right, well, this is actually someone else's video from the King Movement that they made, and I think they did a good job. But I'm mainly going to show the end clip of that later. Right now, I'm going to show our stuff. Here's when we rode up there. I took a couple video of us. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here we are with the squad. Marcus Webb in the house.
What's going on? The myth, the legend.
What up?
Adam Coleman in the house.
Good. Hey, Pastor Tim Allison. You know what it is, bro.
And David Wood in the house, D-Dub. Of course he's eating. Oh, man. That kid, man, he's trying to play basketball in the background, that mural, but his eyes are all crooked. I hope he makes a shot. Anyway. What you got there, man? Some jalapeno chips? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. So, guys, what are you here to do, man?
Trying to make it happen, bro. We're about to go to this debate between at Epiphany Church with Dr. Eric Mason. It's going to be Dr. Vince Bantu versus Brother Jabari. This is like the Super Bowl of urban apologetics right now, man. It's first time at it with a debate like this, man. So we're about to get up in here, see Bantu do his thing, and then afterwards try to engage some folks of whatever worldview, man, and try to get that gospel out, brother.
That's right, man. So check it out. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Here we be. Very excited. We'll let you know how it goes. Now, he stole that phrase from me. That was the phrase I coined to say the first Super Bowl of urban apologetics. But, you know, Adam Coleman's always stealing from me. You know, I understand he looks up to me because I'm Sicilian, so I'll let that slide. You know, it's all right. We have arrived at Epiphany Fellowship Church in downtown Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Oh, that's what you want to do? Why you being all illegal, man? So, jaywalking, you know, yeah, that's what he's got us doing. And so we crossed over, and there it was. That was the building it was in. It was pretty dope, man. And we definitely enjoyed it. Now, I'm not really going to obviously be showing, you know, stuff from the debate. However, I do want to show you this. Like I said, some of this is from one of the brothers. They're involved in the Kingdom movement. I'll play this without sound while I talk a little bit about this for a second here. And then at the end, I'm going to show you where they pray with Dr. Vance Bantu. And while this is playing, I'm going to give a little bit of background. This is kind of pre-game warm-up stuff. The brother from King movement made this. They're also in front of Epiphany. Now, I don't know all the brothers from King movement, but I know that, you know, that's what my man Chris Bouchard rocks, and it's pretty dope. I got to talk to him for a little bit, too. I gave him a free copy of the book or whatever, and that was legit. So to the brother who actually put these clips together, much love to you. Oh, let me show you that real quick. So this is actually something from after the debate, which I am going to show. I'm going to show something from after the debate. But this is Alfredo. You guys remember Alfredo Valentin? That's my man, Brooklyn Apologist. Everybody follow him at BK Apologist. That's my man, Puerto Rican cat, bringing, you know, always holding it down, man. He's just a real cool guy. And this is right here, his brother, the shooter. Now, when he says the brother, the shooter, what we're talking about is this brother films all his videos, right? Real cool cats from Brooklyn, you know, Puerto Rican cats, as you might have guessed. And there's Brother Jabari himself. And as you can tell, man, he's just got a positive, cool, you know, relaxed demeanor about him. And I got nothing but, well, I have a lot of good things to say to him, about him. Not only good, but a lot of good. How about that? Now, shout out again to the brothers in the King movement. Shout out to Chris Bouchard for, you know, using his platform. So I don't really, you know, rock too hard with the NBA like that. But if I did, I know I'd be, you know, the person I'd be listening to would be Chris Bouchard. ESPN's getting all political. I don't know if you guys know that, but getting all hardcore political. Oh, that's one of the other brothers who came up, by the way, with Brother Jabari, the guy that was just in the video. He definitely had a little crew. And they're from something called the House of Mayat, which is, you know, at his brownstone there in Harlem. And I don't say that in a funny way. You know, I think it actually shows the seriousness and dedication that Jabari has for this. And so I'm not saying that as a slight, just so everybody knows this on the up and up. I'm just giving facts. Hopefully that's okay. I think that's common knowledge. I mean, he gave me a pamphlet and had the address, if I'm not mistaken. Anyways, there's brother Dr. Vince Bantu. Dr. Vince Bantu is kind of like immaculate credentials. And this is also after debate. Everybody's milling around. You see, you know, Brooklyn Apologist. You see Dr. Eric Mason. You see Alfredo. You see Chris Bouchard. You see Brother Jabari. You see, you know, a shooter. And that's just some footage for Philly. And again, shout out to the brothers in King Movement who made this. Hope it's all right if I'm playing it. What I'll try to do is put a link in the description to his video, right? I believe it's that brother right there who probably put it together. I'll try to give him a shout out there and a link. So you can see it. Now, what I'm going to do here real quick is show before the debate, the men got together and prayed for Dr. Vince Bantu. Oh, that's after the debate. They took a really cool photo, man. I was talking to somebody. I didn't want to break away, but I was sad I missed that. By the way, and that's the end result of it. I don't know if you saw, but in the background, it just showed Tazariak talking to Adam Coleman. You have to rewind that if you want to see it. But the part I do want to play is before the debate happened. The brothers gathered around Dr. Vince Bantu, and there's Chris Bouchard actually doing the intro. Let me snag some of that. Let me go ahead and play just that part. I think that'll be okay. Oh, I can't even play the audio there because it's the audio actually to a song, and I don't want to get clipped because I know I'll get clipped if I do that. Hopefully that little audio is okay.
Answer and settle once and for all. So you are definitely...
All right, so yeah, but I keep on repeating myself, but I haven't shown it yet. This is pretty dope footage, though. This does give you a sense of what Philly is like. Philly's definitely a city with a lot of character. You can get a sense there of the character of it. So what happened is, hey, Karma Crunk, thank you for listening and driving. Shout out to you. Shout out to you, Judah the Lion. Shout out to you, Joshua Melton. Shout out to you, I don't know how to say your name, but the brother from another country. Shout out to you, D New. Shout out to you, everybody. There's actually right there. That was Brother Jabari's wife, the sister with the feather in her hair. And I'm to understand that they believe that has special spiritual significance, actually, even what she's wearing there. And anyways, so I thought it was powerful the way that they prayed for and with. Hey, just shout out to you, Jasmine Taylor. Shout out to you for real. Shout out to you, Soko. Shout out to you, Roxby. I thought it was powerful the way they prayed for Dr. Vince Bantu before the debate. And, this shows that we got to really realize that, this is ultimately spiritual, right? This is ultimately a spiritual thing, and it's important to recognize that. And so let me go ahead and play this right here.
Dangerous, son. Thank God for your gift of blackness.
Lord, even that there could be a clear understanding, Lord, Jesus is not just a mascot, Lord, to be held up in certain...
Oh, that music is playing in the background. Let me see if that music stops, because... Okay, there we go.
Let this rest, rule, and reign in our brother's heart, and he may be able to impart it to all under the sound of his voice today. Seal him now, fire upon you, in Jesus' name. Amen.
The Spirit explicitly says that in later times, many will fall away from the faith, paying attention to deceitful spirits and doctrines of demons by means of liars seared in their own conscience, as with a branding iron. Preach the word in season and out of season, retort, rebuke with great patience and instruction. Because in later times, many will not endure sound doctrine, but wanting to have their ears tickled, they will accumulate for themselves teachers with their own desires. But you, man of God, do the work of an evangelist. That's what we pray for today, God. We pray that he would do the work of an evangelist, God, and I know he has doctorate degrees and masters, and that's important. But God, I pray that the oil of heaven would absolutely rest, rule, and abide through every single word from his lips. The word says, don't worry about what you say when you go before them, because the Spirit will teach you in that moment exactly what you ought to say. And so, God, I pray, Lord God, that you would bring back to remembrance everything you've taught him. And then, Lord God, show him some things by inspiration at the moment that he doesn't even have in the PowerPoint presentation, that you're going to just run heaven's oil through, Lord God. And God, we come against every stronghold in the minds of people in this place, Lord God, that you would break stuff down immediately today, Lord God, that the mighty one would plant and someone would water, and that you would add the growth. God, we trust you. God, we believe you. You said, I didn't come with you with word only, but in the Spirit of God and power. Lord, do that today in Jesus' name. Amen. 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 Amen.
Hey, amen for real. I see D New says she loved that prayer, and I second that notion 100%. No doubt, no doubt. And I thought that was powerful. So, that was before, actually the debate, of course. And I think, let's see here. What am I trying to show? Okay, now I'm going to show a few other things that are prior to the debate, and I'm going to kind of switch over here. This is a lot of, it's a little tricky. I got a lot going on here. I think you guys could probably recognize that. I'm juggling back and forth between different media to really show you guys, try to give you guys a sense of the experience. Now, I don't know who took this picture. I think this is before. Looks like the brother Chris Bouchard and Vince Bantu went and grabbed some grub somewhere. I bet you it was after, because he's got the purple bracelet on. So actually, that reminds me to tell a funny story. Let me just put this on the screen real quick. I don't know, that's weird. You can only see Justice. Let me change the image here. Let me tell I think it's a funny story. Right, so usually a lot of places we go, being with David Wood gets us access to places. And to be honest, there's sometimes where, I'm able to get us access to places, right? You know somebody, you can get in, whatever. We show up. And the purple bracelet is why I'm telling the story. We show up, and guess who's the one who got us access? Now, what's funny, we totally supported this event. We bought 7 tickets. There's only 4 of us. We went above and beyond in case, some other people were going to come. We actually went ahead and bought 7 tickets in advance just to make sure we had enough and to support it and all that, right? But between the 4 of us, we had bought 7, and yet we go in there, and they're like, oh, Adam Coleman, you were on the research squad. You were on the research team. So, hey, you and who's in your group, what do you call it? And they're like, okay, everyone with True ID, come over here. And so it's so crowded and packed when we go into the door. And Adam gets in first, and they give him the purple bracelet, which I guess means some kind of special status of where you can sit and stuff like that. I don't know. So Marcus Webb he's with the True ID squad. I'm with the True ID squad, and we're all laughing because we're like, Adam Coleman has got clout, bro. And somehow David got like behind us where he wasn't with our group anymore, and so it was separated. And to the people at the counter, it appeared like it was me, David, me, Marcus, and Adam only, right? So David's actually the one who has all these tickets, and yet they see this, tall, giant, white doofus, and he gets a yellow wristband. That means he has to sit in a different place. And I tried to tell him, and I was trying to get Adam's attention to tell him, make sure, hey, let him know David is also with our True ID squad, right? But they didn't. It was too much going on, right? It was hectic. So David has his yellow one, so we're like, it'll probably be all right. So then they guide us to this section, the special row of seats they had saved for us, because otherwise we were going to have to sit in the balcony or actually go into the overflow room. That's how crowded this was. This thing was sold out, right? But fortunately, Adam got the seats. But we were walking back, and there was a lady. Now, they were doing their job. These people were professionals, you know what I mean? Like, the way that the Epiphany, folks, like, put it down was real excellent, right? So she looks at us all. We flip up her wrist real quick, and I forget David's got the yellow on. So we got purple, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, sir. You're going to have to go over here into the balcony in a different area. Because David had the yellow, we had the purple. And again, I'm saying this because Chris Bouchard on his wrist got the purple wristband. And so, right when it happened, I was trying to explain, like, to everybody, no, he's cool, he's with us, right? But what happened was, Eric Mason, Pastor Eric Mason, Doctor, I would happen to be walking by right at the same time, and I was like, Doc, hey, yo, he's with us. And he was like, oh, hey, it's okay, sis, he's with them. So David was able to sit with us in the row. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, Pastor. She was like, no, you're doing what you're supposed to do. It was just funny, though. It was like a funny little moment. I don't know why, but it was funny to me. So apparently that's them eating afterwards. I thought that was a before picture, because what I'm doing right now is I'm showing sort of some of the kind of like warm-up pictures, if you will, things that happened before. And so let me continue on and show you a few others. And again, there's Dr. Vince Bantu. He was the debater. He's from the St. Louis area. And the man did a fantastic job, by the way. And Gerard Perry was asking, is that Chris Bouchard? The answer is yes. And he kind of walked in the whole thing. And he's somebody that I think we should support. He's really outspoken about his faith and is involved and invested in urban apologetics. And I just give him a lot of respect, and that's him and Dr. Eric Mason, who are really the leaders of this thing. So just a shout out to those two men of God, who really made this thing happen. God's in control, but he used these two brothers to make it happen, and so they get a lot of respect. And just in case you're wondering, the King Movement, there's the logo for that, and I really encourage you guys to look that up and get involved with the King Movement. And I think Beatrice Wells was saying, Adam Coleman writes for the King Movement as well, has hosted the podcast a few times. So they got a podcast and a blog. Hey, Beatrice, if you're able to, could you drop a link so the listeners could check that stuff out, maybe? Give that a little shine. But, yeah. So there, we're at the Bantu Jabari debate, and Dr. Eric Mason is kind of walking everything in and, getting everything set up. And he did an awesome job, This is, by the way, this is not during the debate. This is before the debate. He's not on his phone. Yeah, your Beatrice is right. At the risk of his career, she's exactly right. So sounds like Beatrice. I've seen you around, Beatrice. Sounds like you really know what is going on, because she's exactly right. That's 100% true. By the way, shout out to the brother Pastor Jerome Gay. I haven't mentioned him yet, but he was there. I didn't get a chance to chop with him, although we've chopped before, and he was behind the scenes and stuff like that as well. And so that's a picture of those as well. And let's see here, what else do we got? We got. Let me show you some pictures of now during the debate. Okay, let me show you some pictures of actually during the debate. So we're kind of transitioning. I think this is when everybody was first called up. And you can tell it's a nice little setup, real intimate, but real professional. Dr. Ben Savantu on stage right, I think it's called, and Jabari on stage left there, as it's called. And, Pastor Eric Mason in the middle. And again, everybody did a fantastic job and held it down for their respective positions. You know what I mean? It is real good. And let me just show you this. This is a powerful shot, isn't it? Isn't that beautiful to see? I love that shot. Somebody must have taken that from the balcony, and that gives you a great idea. Now, remember, there's a whole balcony plus an overflow room, but everybody was dialed in, man. They were tuned in. People were on the edge of their seat. They were really, this thing was long. It went from 2 to 6, right? And then people, mainly me, I was one of the last people there. They basically turned the lights out on me. Was there at the very end, but people were invested into this. And the speakers both were articulate and knowledgeable. So shout out on that, man, 100%. All the way. And I love that shot. I didn't take that when I saw it. I was like, ooh, that's a nice shot. I think they had some professional photographers there who rocked that. And this Bantu checking his notes while Jabari's, speaking. Because what they did is they discussed 3 different questions. And so, that's pretty intense, to really do it that way. And there's Bantu during his time right there. But, yeah, they discussed 3 different questions back to back to back. There's little breaks in between each one there. So that gives you an idea. It's funny if you look at that picture. Who's back of the head do you see? You see David Wood, the back of his head. You see Chris Bouchard, the back of his head. I see the back of Alfredo's head right there. I see the back of my head. I'm on the right. That's my Black Panther hat. So yeah, that's the back of our head. So shout out to the back of my head, right? And you can tell Jabari's speaking there because he's got a slide up. Now I know some of you are itching to see this debate, and I don't mean this as a slight. Brother Jabari had put out a talk that he gave talking about destroying the Africanization of now I forgot what it's called, but it was a couple days before the debate, and honestly he used almost all that material, so you actually can get a good idea of presentation if you check it out. I'll try to share that. I know that Alfredo and Adam Coleman had shared that Brother Jabari talk, but that's also a shot from the front there, gives you a good sense of it. And the eyes of the world aren't on us in a sense of, they don't realize the importance of the stuff that we're involved with and that we're passionate about sometimes, we care about. But we know it, right? We know it, don't we, ladies and gentlemen? And so we care. And so, shout out to those in attendance and shout out to people who care about this and are invested in it. And again, shout out to Brother Jabari. Now, if you noticed, he's got his unk there. See around his left wrist, going towards his elbow. That's his unk. And the man, I think, believes it actually brings him spiritual power. And I saw them moving it quite frequently in the front. It was very, very interesting that they seemed to think that it had some power to it. The Madam Hannah says, "Roses are red. I will never be Wiccan. I'm in the mood for some barbecue chicken." Interesting. Not sure what it has to do with anything, but you gave a super chat, so shout out to you. You're actually the first one, so we got $10 in. If we get to 50, I drop a freestyle at the end of the show, or if we get to over 100 viewers. So shout out to you, Hannah. Thank you for making help that happen there, or help to make that happen. All right. Am I talking too calm? Am I going to lose you guys' interest? I hope not. I believe this is from somebody's. What is somebody's? Oh, yeah, this is from the Epiphany Fellowship social media. Real quick, let me address this. My My man Michelle Vitalize says Christianity, white man's religion, while the most important church fathers are from Africa. Yeah, that's a very important thing, and really a lot of the first debate centered on that very question. So they were going back and forth on that. It actually got very, very deep. It really did. And I learned a lot about North African church history. Now, I know, I think more than the average bear about church history and about North African church history. So it's not like I have no clue and I don't care. I've talked about it. It's very important. However, I still learned. So you know that the debaters did a good job if there's educational elements, because I think what a good debate can do is educate, not merely entertain or make you go rah rah cheer cheer, but to actually be educated. And I learned something from both men, aspects of what both men said at the debate. And so when it drops, you're going to want to listen to it, especially the first two. The third one is a little not as even killed. Shout out to you, Roxby. Thank you very much for the super chat. You are helping to make it happen. Okay, did I already show this one? I don't think I did. That's Bantu speaking during his time. I'm just showing some of these real quick, just to give you guys an idea of what was popping off, right? This is taken. I took this picture. This is from our vantage point. This picture right here, and so we had pretty decent seats. We're in the last row beside the sound nest and where the cameras were, and it looks like this is one of the parts where Jabari's computer was off. But then again, he wasn't speaking then, so I think it was okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, so I want to play a little bit of Brother Berean's. He did a review of this, and it was 3 hours, okay? And shout out to Brother Berean. He had very interesting people on his panel there. And I'm just playing in the background for a second here. Let me go ahead and go over him for a second while it's playing there. So it's playing, but that way I can just jump back into it in a second here. But I thought it was interesting the way he described, what went down at a certain point in the debate. Now, if you notice, I haven't talked a lot about the debate yet. I've just given kind of general positive things. I'm going to, but I got to first show all my pictures and video I really want to get to. And because I know that Adam Coleman and Alfredo Valentin, Brooklyn Apologists, I know that they plan on doing one. And so I want to definitely make sure they get a chance to do that. And I'm gonna make sure they get a chance to do that. But right now, what I'm going to do is, in a second here, play a section where Brother Berean gives a little bit of his viewpoint and perspective. And I think he did a good thing. Now, I encourage you to go ahead and check out the full video. And also, if you're into urban apologetics, you may not agree with everything he says. I don't agree with everything anybody says all the time. I'm sure Brother Berean doesn't always agree with everything I say, but he's my brother. I got love for him, and I want to just give him a shout out. In fact, I put him in the cover image here, and he's a real Queens man. What I mean by that is he represents New York. He stays out there in Queens. And just shout out to him for, really bringing a lot of these issues to awareness. And again, if you're easily offended, don't subscribe to him. But if you're easily offended, I don't know what you're doing interested in urban apologetics, because it's a rough and tumble environment. You know what I mean? It's just a rough and tumble area. And so, oh man, the dog disappeared. He's hiding from y'all. He's still on the couch. He has a little hiding spot right now. And so I'm going to play some of his review of the debate here in a second. And I'm not trying to steal his thunder, because I'm encouraging you to go ahead and listen to the full thing.
That's putting work in. If y'all don't know who he is, Chris Shaw and the whole King movement.
Yeah, it's a good spot right there.
And stuff out there. They got actually rap video out.
That's a good spot. So I'm going to start playing the audio right here. So again, subscribe to his channel, Brother Berean, and check out the full show of this. But I want to play a little bit of his. So shout out to him. This is his content, his material. But I like his perspective and how some of the stuff he said. So let me play this.
All I can say is they're putting in work, and I have to give that to them. So we get in there, Jabari is in there, his queen is in there, and he came with the other brother. He came with his mentor. His name always slips my mind. It starts with an M. Put it down in there, Des. What's his mentor's name? He always on side of the TV. So they going in there, Dr. Vince Bantu. I'm going to tell y'all what Dr. Vince Bantu is a problem. I told them from the gate. I was part of that, with the research team. They wanted to get in, put that work in. I told them from the gate, Dr. Vince Bantu is a problem. But one thing I have to say is I respect Jabari. I got to say I respect him, and he held his own. Make sure you're looking at these comments whilst I'm talking, because I want the world to know Jabari got there and he held his own. Out of every.
Did he say whilst I'm talking? Shout out to Brother Brian for using the word whilst in 2019 on a live stream. But I agree with everything he said so far, right? Everything he said is accurate. And it would be my perception as well. I have respect for Jabari. There's a couple times where I got mad in my spirit at Jabari because he used some street tactics a few times. What I mean by that is kind of cheap tricks, rhetorical tricks, where he tried to put Bantu on the spot, like give him the mic and make him answer a question when it was Jabari's time. And when he kept on doing some other stuff where he was like trying to get the crowd on him, in a certain kind of way. But that's just a little something. Overall, this is a whole nother level, man, the way he put it together. The debate's not out yet, Tony DeBano, so you guys got to look for it. After the Flood says, Jabari is food for One West. Now listen, brother. After the Flood, I love you. I respect you, but you also are kind of crazy, man. Brother Jabari is wrong about a lot of stuff, and he attacks the Bible, no doubt. But I don't see many One Westers really hanging with Jabari for the most part. There's some exceptions of some Hebrew Israelites who can hang with him. But, bruh, he's not food for One West. The problem with One Westers, honestly, is they're like that guy in Kung Pao. Have you guys ever seen Kung Pao? And it's a movie that the same guy who made, I think, Pet Detective directed it. Not Jim Carrey's not in it. It has nothing to do with him. Steve something or other. And anyways, they overdubbed the old Hong Kong like martial arts flick. And there's a part where they show these two guys fighting, and one is clearly losing. And the guy keeps on coming back, and he's like, now, watch me pummel his fist with my face. And then he goes up to the girl watching the fight, and he's like, I'm bleeding, therefore making me the victor. I'm telling you, after the Flood, that honestly is how a lot of Hebrew Israelites are. I got to play a clip of that guy sometime, because you guys get pummeled, and you think you're winning. Because, you're getting rah-rah, cheer, sis, boom, ba, all that stuff. But as far as the facts and stuff, a lot of times it just ain't happening. But let me continue on with what Berean is saying.
In the conscious community, I like Jabari. I listen to Garfield a lot. But I have to give it to Jabari that he really, really came in there. And it wasn't how I thought it would be. He really surprised me. I thought it was going to be a slaughter. I'm not going to lie. I said, Vince Bantu going to give him that business. He's getting ready to be. It's going to be a slaughter. But it wasn't a slaughter. Now, Jabari lost the debate, but it wasn't by too much. And
I agree. Again, this is a pretty sober assessment of everything. And he's trying to be pretty fair. He's not just talking. Like, I've heard some of the other reactions to this debate, and they're mainly by people who haven't even seen it. So I don't know what they're on, right? But this is pretty legit. Brother Berean did see it. He was there. I saw him in the audience, two rows ahead of me. What it would look like, a fresh haircut or whatever. And my thoughts are very similar to his for the most part on that right there. And so I'm agreeing with that and just saying that this debate was the rhetorician versus the professor. Now, this is not to discount Jabari's book research and firsthand research or anything like that, or any of his skills. That's not what this is about. I'm just saying as far as the skill set of where each man shines. Vince Bantu is more professorial, doesn't always finish his sentences, for example. You know what I mean? That's sort of, he's professorial in tone, yet trying to learn the ropes of debating. Jabari knows how to control and command a crowd, knows the ropes of debating, but is not. Very few people are on the level of Vince Bantu when it comes to information about this. So this, again, is not a slight against Jabari. Jabari showed himself to be very formidable And I think everybody who watches this with an open mind will recognize that. Now, at the end of the day, by God's grace, the truth is on our side. And so that's what it's about. But as far as this actual performance, if you want to label it that, that's true. Now look at this after the flood. Jabari has bad credit. He tried to buy a home from me years ago using blackness. Brother, this isn't how we do things, man. You're just embarrassing yourself. Because we're here talking about a debate, and you said Jabari is food for One West, and I disagreed with you. And now here you are trying to slander him. Let's even say what you're saying is true. That doesn't mean his debate skills are lacking, and this doesn't mean that he lost. It really doesn't mean anything about anything. You just totally pulled a One West slander card out. This is what you guys do. You got to understand after the flood, this is the kind of stuff that makes you look bad to people who really care about truth. Because here we are talking about truth and facts and information, and you trying to bust someone out about how they try to buy a home and have bad credit. Come on, man. Just step your game up, man. This is the old One West tricks, man. Straight out the old playbook where you can't handle stuff. You just resort to invective and personal attacks on people. Come on, man. Step it up.
Tell y'all the reasons why he lost it. You know, at the eyes of the people may be something else. We're going to drop the video next week. People that like Jabari may just ride with him automatically. But there's a couple of things where he had a problem. Dr. Vince Bantu, on the freestyle with his slides, he just spitting primary, secondary sources. He's not playing any games. So on the strength of the sources, he won that. Now, Jabari was saying that, well, my sources are up on my slides. I'm not mentioning the sources, but they are up on the slides. And he was mentioning some stuff, but it just wasn't on the level of what Dr. Bantu was putting in, but.
Again, Brother Berean's assessment, I don't really, that's the reason I'm playing this is because I feel like he adequately expressed most of my sentiment. So I don't need to repeat it. I'm just introducing what he's saying because that's right.
Outside of sharing things and being articulate, that's good. He tried to ride with what the entire conscious community rides with. The white man came in, even when you got Christianity in Kemet and Ethiopia, Nubia, that the white man brought it there. The white man was ruling, and basically the white man conquered in the name of the religion. Of course, they're going to throw in there the Roman Catholic Church. And that's one problem we got in the conscious community. When we deal with
he's saying their spin on church history. And I agree again with Brother Berean. However, let me say that if Bantu wasn't there to fact check him, Brother Jabari's presentation would have been extremely convincing to someone who's a foreigner to this information. So that's the beauty of this debate is Bantu's fact checking him. But that's a good point. If you just heard Jabari in a vacuum, I think he would be extremely convincing to someone who didn't have a handle on some of this stuff. And that's the beauty of this debate is there was someone there to fact check.
The Catholic Church's conspiracy that the white man and the Roman Catholic Church took over and destroyed all of Africa, and that's basically how they roll. That's the conspiracy theory that they go with. But Vince did an excellent. He did an excellent.
Built for Speed, when he says we have a problem with what he's saying, that is that in the conscious community, that alt history, that alternative narrative that this sort of invented, he's saying that's a problem that is endemic to the conscious community in regards to African church history. That's what he's saying by that, Built for Speed.
On just showing how Christianity was flourishing in different places, in Persia, Syria, so many other places, and it wasn't by force. Totally outside of the control of the Catholic Church and Europeans. And he proved that because these people, many people argue all on the internet that if it wasn't for the white man conquering, Christianity wouldn't have spread as much as it spread, and that's absolutely false. And
I won't comment on that right now, but there's a lot that could be talked about just in that last sentence.
And Dr. Vince Bantu did an excellent job in bringing all of that stuff up. Now, another thing, right. When we're dealing with a controlled debate, Jabari is all on the internet. He's been in debates, but it's totally different. I like to call it a discourse, or the way that they did it in Epiphany. They did it more, how can I say, some people make... This
is funny. Oh, man, this is funny what he says right here.
Church's conspiracy at the white...
This is funny right here. He cracks me up.
Now, another thing, when we...
So if you don't... He just checks it out. He's funny. Watch what he says.
I like to call it a discourse, or the way that they did it in Epiphany. They did it more, how can I say, some people might get it offended, but they did it more like white people. It's going to be more organized, Father G. You go on and look at Sinetta debate and the Israelites in there, they all hollering and setting black power and cussing and Sinetta trying to get them under control and they hollering and everybody stand. It wasn't none of that stuff. It wasn't none of that stuff. It was in a good, orderly fashion. You got to obey the time. If you went over a little bit on the time, I got to give it to Dr. E. He killed it as a moderator because they were bringing.
That's why I had to play this, because this is hilarious and everything he's saying is so true. If you've seen any of these debates, you know what he's saying is true. And I just had to play this because he was cracking me up here when I watched this.
Some points I'd be like, oh, I know he's finna go and he's gonna jump in. I'm thinking he's gonna do one of my ignorant numbers and interject, but he didn't. He sat back like a professional and he did what he did. If Vince went over a couple of seconds, he added the time to Jabari. Of course, me looking at it, I'm gonna beef Jabari. Keep whispering to mates. I'm like, he up there complaining. He wants more time. He thinks something ain't fair. In all fairness, his screen did blank out for a second. And Dr. E had to help him.
Now, Jabari was whispering to Mason a lot when Bantu was going. And I think this is where, I already expressed my respect to Jabari. However, what it looked like based upon David Wood's mouth reading skills is Jabari was complaining that Bantu was off topic at the end. Now, that made us all chuckle because my man Jabari went off topic a few times. He tried to tie it in, but it wasn't working. It's like, bro, why are you talking about misogyny right now and patriarchy and Christianity? This is not the topic of the debate. He tried to tie it in his own way, but it's clear he just had something he wanted to get out. He just wanted to say it no matter what. It wasn't really in. And then he did that so much, that kind of thing, that Mace was real respectful in how he said it. When I say Mace, I'm talking about Pastor Mason. He said, hey, we need to stay on topic, et cetera, et cetera. And then right after that, Bantu kind of responded to some of the stuff Jabari's bringing up. And then Jabari all of a sudden wants the rule enforced about staying on topic. That's the way it seemed to me because we were watching his mouth and it seems like, so it is true. It is true a little bit there, I think. And nonetheless, I talked to Jabari afterwards and he was cool, man. So I think he's a grown adult man, and I like the way he acts. You get a lot of these guys, and they just don't know how to be mature adult men. And I feel like Jabari will understand, I'm criticizing, but he understands the medium I'm in, and he understands we can still have a respectful dialogue, because I'm not out here whining. But I agree with what Berean said there. What's this here? What we got here? Marlon Calendar says, why you was not laughing? Why you was not laughing? Marlon. It's hard to read your sentences when they start off like that. Why you was not laughing? You literally sound... I don't want to be offensive, so I'm not going to say what I'm going to say, but... some people are on Instagram. You need to get on Instagrammer. Why you was not laughing when the brothers of GMS Dallas cut you up, no cab? Marlon, this is what I mean. The discussion with Jabari and Bantu is at a whole nother level. And then I got to read my comments and I got to see why you was not laughing. Marlon Calendar, why you was not spelling. Why you was not grammaring. Why you was not capitalizing. Why you was not punctuating. Why you was not making no sense. Got love for you, though, man. It's all in good fun.
But another reason Jabari had serious problems is because he turned around in that room full of, I like what Vocab say, shout out to him. He's going to help me out with some other stuff.
See, this is where Adam Coleman ripped me off.
Vocab said it was like the Super Bowl of urban apologetics.
And I said it before you, Adam Coleman.
What you do is a lot of believers in the room, a lot of people studying apologetics. So when Jabari came out with certain things, he tried to present us with certain things like the three kings, Christmas Day, Jesus being born on Christmas. People are like, where are you getting this from? It's like he had some slides ready that were already, he was ready to argue from a Zeitgeist point of view. For those of y'all that know what Zeitgeist is, he's arguing that from that point of view with the three kings and trying to act like a virgin birth. And he brought that up. That he really lost points with that. So, of course, people like Adam Coleman and them, I'm in the room. Once he try to act like he coming with primary sources, I'm putting my head down. So Adam, Vocab, different people are going to...
Booyaka! At the end, I got to ask Brother Jabari a question. It was fun because Adam Coleman and I got to ask a question both, and then he's going to mention his other brother who's on the other side of the room, and this brother had a whole iPad filled with questions. But it was cool, you know, the way it went. It was beautiful.
Challenge him on that. A brother all the way on the other side during the questions and answers time. Where did that come from? Give us a primary source. What text tell us that Isis and her root, that virgin birth story, where are you getting this from? I'm very surprised he would bring that up. So I'm saying for these reasons, he lost the debate. He said, well, I don't have time to go all into it. And everybody's sitting back chuckling because we know you don't have it. Don't try to come around here acting like you're researching and you slipped up right there. He held his own down, but he slipped up right there. And then when we asked on some other things, he got up there and he started presenting the same thing. When I went on Sinetta, he started presenting that whole misogyny in the Bible. It's like the slides that he had and him talking had nothing to do with that part of the debate. This is what I'm like, what is he? I'm looking around. I'm sitting next to
Man, Brother Brian's cracking me up right now.
I missed something. He's answering and he's dealing with stuff which he's bringing out points, misogyny in the Bible. Do you want your mother treated like that and all of this stuff? But that had nothing to do with the debate at the time, unless I missed something. And everybody looked around and did the same thing. So I feel after he did that for a couple of minutes, when it got closer to the end of the debate in questions and answers, that Dr. Vince Bantu, all he did was reiterate. And some of the stuff that he couldn't get to, he reiterated what he wanted. And some of the stuff he couldn't get to, he ended up going through some slides. Right. So he probably figured, listen, Jabari over there doing his own thing and answering what he want to answer. I'm just going to finish up my slides and do what I want to do. So the end was a little bit interesting. But like I said, in general, it was good. But Jabari just messed up trying to push certain things over. Now, let me tell you.
Again, I mean, the reason I'm playing this is because I listened to Berean and I was like, I can't say it any better. So Berean's my man. So, you know, and again, when we say someone's our man, doesn't mean we agree with everything they say, okay? But I give him a shout out on this, and he did dope, and hope we get to work together on certain things in the future, in certain ways. And I couldn't say it any better. That's why I'm playing this.
About his mentor.
This is the last part of a play, okay? This is important. What he's saying right now, everyone, is 100% true. So listen up, everybody. This was a real weak spot in the debate. And it's not necessarily Jabari's fault, so I'm not putting that on him. But Berean is right. Check this out.
Mentor got up in there. Everybody talked. Vince Bantu was talking. Everybody's quiet during the 20-minute lecturing period. Dr. Vince Bantu was lecturing. All of a sudden, and he's speaking on Kemet, and you know, he's speaking on Egypt. He said Egypt, and he's talking about Christ in Egypt and how you can't find certain things. His mentor, the entire room is quiet. It's not like a Sinetta debate. Folks saying what the entire room is quiet. We're listening to the lecture like professionals would do, and we're taking in the information. Some people taking notes or whatever. His mentor got up in the middle of the thing and started hollering, "It's not Egypt! It's not Egypt! Stop calling it Egypt!" He's an older man, so I'm saying, oh, that spirit got to come up out of him. You don't know what's making the folk in here, and I count myself among one of them. And he started.
What he's saying is literally true. Now, personally, drama like that, although it's disruptive, is also comical in a weird way. So I kind of like a little bit of that kind of drama in there, but what he's saying is true. What's his name? Baba Haru? Now I forget, but he's his mentor. Tony Tabato, thank you for the super chat. He says, it's not just Jabari using false information. I also heard Zion Lex say there was no New Testament until 300 AD. Peace, brother vocab. Zion Lex said that? Maybe they mean they're trying to talk about final, official, 100% public canonization. Yeah, that's bad when you say stuff like that. If they're saying stuff like that, that's pretty sloppy. Man, Tony, you following that? You definitely getting in the mix if you checking out Jabari and Zion Lex. My paisan knows what's going on. After the flood is whining like a grown man should and says, your channel is black exploitation. Well, you know what? As long as it's Shaft and Dolomite, then I'm all right with that. Some of you who know those old 70s movies know what I'm saying. But, you know, I thought you said you were leaving after the flood. You said you were leaving because people were rude, and you said peace out to the black people on the channel. That's what you just said. Now, aren't you a one-wester? I thought that it's not about black, so why are you bringing that up? But it's all right, whatever.
hollering and he disrupted Dr. Bantu. He put the mic down and he looking at Dr. Mason like, control, what's going on here? But Dr. E was like, okay, brother, and he gave us scriptures even later on when he spoke. He said, and salute to him, he said, you can't really rebuke an elder like that. We give them leeway. But right. My thing is, I all the debates I seen on Sinetta, his mentor never got up and started hollering like that. Don't come among believers because we woke, because we conscious, and think y'all could just run over us. So of course I'm offended. But Dr. E said we give him leeway as an elder, but he started hollering, call it Kemet, in the middle of the lecture, not during the question and answer period. In the middle of the lecture, he started hollering, call it Kemet, and don't call him Jesus. His name is Yeshua. What do you even care about Jesus for? And you from the Kemetic spirituality. I feel he knew Dr. Vince had the upper hand on Jabari, and he just wanted to disrupt it. Plain and simple. That's my personal opinion. They're gonna drop the video next week, but that's my personal opinion. But outside of that, I can't lie. It was okay. Jabari he put his work in, but he just when it comes to them sources, Dr. Vince Bantu just spit it on a freestyle. But once again, he got a PhD, he got a seminary. They do what they do. And then when it came to the questions and answers, a lot of people already had questions on their phone, questions written down, questions on their iPad. They came here with specific questions, and he said, I'm not going to get into the whole thing. I'm not prepared to answer that, but I was surprised that someone on his level. I'm not going to even say Jabari is not a scholar, but the conscious community, one of the main things we get from them is they have a lot of revisionist history. So they're going to make up some Jesus virgin birth stuff from Gerald Massey, like I always say. And he tried to put that out on the crowd. And the crowd wasn't going for that. Crowd don't accept that. He should know there's enough videos out here that we ain't accepting that madness. But I think he got us confused, like someone else said, when we're dealing with this. There's so much out there speaking on what some would call European Christianity, colonized.
That's good. So shout out to Brother Brian again. Sub to him. Now, some of you guys, I understand you may not feel, you might be of it, and that's all right. It is what it is. But let me continue on. That to me, I just played that for the assessment, and you can check the rest out of it. Somebody dropped the link there already. So let's look here now. I'm going to show pictures after the debate. So that's what we're switching over to. Let me just show you guys some pictures after the debate. And that is, of course, Brother Brian, myself, Marcus Webb, and like I said earlier, Dr. Eric Mason actually went ahead and photobombed us. He was walking by, because if you notice in the next one, he's not there. You see what I'm saying? Because we had took a number of pictures in that little section, and then you notice he is there. So, he photobombed us, man, when we was doing our pictures. But shout out to Marcus Webb. He definitely enjoyed it. And let me just share a couple pictures, because, afterwards everybody's taking pictures and stuff. And there you got Adam Coleman, with Brother Jabari. And that was real cool, that they got to talk and chop it up. And like I said, I also did. And Bantu and Jabari were real cordial to each other afterwards as well. It wasn't like some kind of fake thing. I sensed genuine respect for the men, from each man to each other. It didn't seem like a front. And I appreciate that. You can kind of tell the difference. These are some more, after debate, wait, did I already show that picture? I might be losing track a little bit here. So if I, am showing something I showed already, my bad. But I'm just trying to give you guys a sense, because I know everybody couldn't attend. What I want to do is give you guys a sense of what it was like to be there as best I can. That was an epic picture, man. You got Jabari and Alfredo, apparently got their own little private conversation there. I'm just teasing you guys, man. You know it. But that was cool that they did a group picture afterwards. And like I said, I was talking to somebody. I wanted to be in that, but I didn't want to break away and be rude. And there you got Bantu with the brother. Bantu was real cool. I didn't get to talk to him too much afterwards. I hope one day to change that, But you got me, David Wood, Alfredo, and Adam chilling. We're just kind of missing Marcus from that picture because that's definitely sort of our posse. And shout out to David, man. He really actually helped make this trip happen. If David wasn't behind this trip and interested in this, even though it's not his main area, this trip wouldn't have happened. So shout out to David Wood from Act 17 Apologetics. Here's Alfredo Valentin. Again, subscribe to him all over social media, BK Apologist, Brooklyn Apologist. And look, when I recommend somebody, it's not because every little thing they say or do is perfect. But, that's just not how life works. I'm not just representing carbon clones of myself, right? And there we got Chris Bouchard with my man Calvinistic Don. Shout out to him. I was very blessed to meet him. Hey, Tony Tabano, I gave you a shout out for the super chat, didn't I? I think I did. Hey, what's up? Titus 2, shout out to you. Yeah, so there's Calvinistic Don. He was a cool guy, man. He's from Philly, and it was really a pleasure to meet him. And a lot of the brothers and sisters I got a chance to meet, it was just like, that's part of the beauty of this. It's not even just going there and hearing stuff, information. A lot of it is relationships and building, and that's a different angle of that same group picture afterwards. But I know you guys are fiending right now, meaning you want to watch this debate, and I know a lot of you are jelly, meaning you wish you were there. Here's the picture everybody's been waiting for right here. That's my man Tazariak. Well, I'm saying my man, but he'd be upset about that because I pulled a little... When you're dealing with a Hebrew Israelite, call them brother, and if they say you're not a brother and they think you're an Edomite, quote Deuteronomy 23:7 to them and see what they do to that. And that's exactly what I did to Zariak. But look, he's coming loud and proud. He's got a 6-point star there, and he's got a hoodie on that says straight out of One West. And he also was rocking the fringes, as well as his man who did have a striking resemblance to a shorter version of Ghostface Killer. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. Wu-Tang, every day, all day, it's all good. But they had a good conversation. Hey, shout out to you, Roxby. Thank you for the other super chat. And I actually had a conversation with Zariak as well. I don't know if I'm going to have a chance. No, Apollo Flicks is Deuteronomy 23:7. I don't know if you're copying or mentioning something else, but Apollo Flicks, I'm Deuteronomy 23:7 is what I'm talking about. Hey, my man, Baba Haru. That's his name, Baba Haru. So, yeah, that's the mentor that's he's mentioning. And so, hey, thank you for mentioning that. And Baba Haru was there. He had a purple styled outfit. Amelia Lynn says, Vocab Malone, thank you. Are you watching from Taiwan, did you say, Amelia? I can't remember where it was, but it was something like that. So, yeah, shout out to you. But, yeah, the guy that I thought he had a cool throwback style, the guy that was on that Ghostface Killer tip, And there's Adam Coleman with Vince Bantu. Adam Coleman was like the celebrity, man. I mean, he deserves it. It's all right because he gets unsung a lot, and he was getting love everywhere he went, My man Adam Coleman and True ID, definitely subscribe to him. My man Alfredo, it was good to kick it with him. I talked to him a little bit today on the phone, and he's real, geared in and tuned into these things. Like, if you want to really understand what's going on, Alfredo Valentin, a.k.a. Brooklyn Apologist, is definitely somebody that you want to speak with, Yeah, Carmel Crunk, he is, yeah. And they chopped it up for a while as well afterwards. Adam, some of these pictures I've stylized, so if you see a different version of them on the internet from the original version, you'll notice, because I wanted to make them look dope, you know what I mean, in my own little way. Some of them I didn't get a chance to do photo edits to, but you had Eric Mason, he was representing, he had the African medallion on. Shout out to him there as well. And he was taking pictures left and right afterwards. And let me see here. Oh, yeah, David Wood actually took this picture. Okay, let me make this one a little smaller. HOI Los Angeles in the house says, if we not Israelites, who is? I want your opinion. Well, let me just share you something real quick. HOI Los Angeles, I don't want to get too far off. I'm doing a Philly Apologetics review here real quick. But I just want to say something. Check it out. Even if the so-called modern-day Jews that you think are frauds in every way, if every single one of them is a fraud, that doesn't make you or anyone else who claims to be a Hebrew Israelite is an Israelite. You got to understand that. You could eliminate one that doesn't equal the other one, all of a sudden gets to fill the gap without any real evidence. That's one thing. Number two, it could be no one. Now, I'm just running through logical scenarios. The real answer biblically is that those who are in Christ are the true Israel today. Now, I know you're not going to like that answer, but I think that's the Galatians chapter 3 and 4 answer. And that's what I rock with. And so that's really what's important. But as far as the seed of Abraham, well, I mean, what do you mean by that? But let me show this here real quick here. Notice the Hebrew Israelites are coming on with all this stuff. I'm not going to read all your guys' comments. We're discussing a debate of a conscious community, Kemetic brother, Jabari, versus Vince Bantu. We're not even talking about Hebrew Israelites right now. You guys understand that? We are not talking about your religion. So why are you asking these questions? So here I am. I'm talking to somebody. I forget who. I'm kind of in the middle of that picture. And over there, on the other side of the lady with the red hat, you can see Tazariak, who's rather tall, and he's always got his signature earpiece right there. And he's there talking to Marcus Webb, trying to woo him back. All of a sudden, my man Tazariak got real calm and quiet and went into full ambassador mode for commanding General Yohana, who's second only to Christ, according to ISUPK, who, according to their literature, is the home of the truth. And so it was very interesting to see how gentle and soft he was with Marcus Webb when he was in full proselytization mode. You know what I mean? That was a very interesting thing to see. But shout out to David Wood for taking those pictures while I was in the crowd, because I think they turned out well. And let me see here. I showed that one. I actually got a couple of videos I'm going to show from that after I share a couple more of these here. I think I already showed that one, didn't I? My bad. Yeah, I did. Alfredo there, Brooklyn Apologist. If you guys have any questions about any of the pictures, just let me know. You know what I'm saying? And I'll try to break it down further. Oops. Now I am showing duplicates, aren't I? Apologies for that. But, hey, who else is doing this? Nobody else is doing this. Okay. Now, let's go ahead. Although, when the video drops, there's going to be a lot of people doing this. Let me go ahead here.
Or the comment section, should I say, as I'm talking.
I want to show some video here.
Behind us, I like to make sure
from
everybody partakes in the discussion.
The after
Sometimes
parts.
We can get carried away and we're going off.
Here we go.
I gotta remember that those other people.
All right, this is cool. Check this out. If you notice, they're playing a song by The Truth off his album, It's Complicated. I recognize that track. Anyways. I picture heaven a little bit like that. You got loud, amped, dope music playing in the background, and then you got people talking theology. I say that slightly tongue-in-cheek, so someone don't try to read too much into it. But here's a little B-roll, or whatever you want to call it, of Adam. Why isn't it work? Come on. Where'd it go? Of Adam Coleman. Let me show this here. Okay, there it is right here. It's only 12 seconds.
At the end of the day, so many times, these guys are never actually in their claims. They make all these assertions, and it's just nonsense. Please bring up the difference when you
that's Baba Haru. That's him right there. See the man in the middle with the purple and the red and black hat? That's the man Jabari was mentored by. And that's the man that Brother Berea spoke of earlier with his outburst. Over here on the right is Lindsey Brooks, who was real prominent in the L.A. apologetics scene, actually for over a decade. Recently moved to Philly, so I'm definitely going to look him up next time I go to Philly.
Bruh, how many times do you have to debunk that?
All right, so that was pretty dope right there, right? And now let me go ahead and show you, because you already know, when this debate was over, what do you think we went ahead and did? Where do you think we went ahead and went to? Now, some of you guys will already know the answer to this, but let me just go ahead and show you. This is what we did. Ha-ha! That's right. That's right. We went to Geno's. Now, I'm going to say something that might be considered offensive. Geno's was not all that. I still enjoyed the process and the experience of going to South Philly and grabbing some Geno's, cheesesteak. But it wasn't all that. Next time I go back, I'm going to try Pat's and try to hit up Jim's, because I heard that's the competitors I need to go to. But I love this picture of us four together, the sort of A-team. Will Lim says Geno's is nasty, bro. Will, were you there? Is that... I can't tell if... Were you at the debate, Will? But, yeah, I mean, I like I said, I enjoyed the experience of going to Geno's, but it wasn't all A1. So I gotta find a perfect cheesesteak in Philly, but I don't think it was there, you know. HOI Los Angeles says, you hang out with a lot of Jakes, I see. Yes, I do, sir. And I'm very blessed to do that. And I don't call them Jakes. Okay, so Will says Max's. You were like the third or fourth person I've heard say that. So I got to hit up Max's. This sounds like what's up, man. Yeah, Soko, I agree. Geno's is average. Yeah, I hear you said you got him from Jersey. You might be right. Now let me look at the time here. I was going to show some pictures of us going to an amusement park, but I don't have time to do that because we are running out of time. And it was kind of fun, and it really doesn't have anything to do with it, so I'm actually not going to play what I was going to play there at the end. Let me just kind of go over some other things that I need to discuss with you guys real quick. How's that sound, okay? And if you guys want another day. Actually, it's on my Instagram. Ishka Bibbles on South Street is a spot. Is that a cheesesteak spot? I'm not looking for just food. I want cheesesteak. Humble African says, why you decide to grow your beard if you keep on the one of law? Let's work out that sentence. I'm not sure exactly what you're saying, but I don't think growing my beard is part of keeping the law. I just like the way it looks, and I finally got clearance to do it at my job. Okay, I need to show you guys something. Okay, so we got over 80 people. We got enough for I think 2 freestyles. No, brother. I know that's HOI Los Angeles. I know that's the word for Jacob. I mean, I'm saying I know Jake is Jacob. I know that's what you. I do know that. And I do know you say Eve. So I got you. I was just saying that's what, remember, if you notice, I said, yes, I do. So I was agreeing with you. I knew the definition of the term. I just was saying that that's not what I call the brothers. You know what I'm saying? That's all I was saying by that. But shout out to you, man. HOI Los Angeles, sometimes you seem all right. I would like to meet you. And I hope your camp is as cool as you are. I would like to meet you, and I'd like to have a real build. It could be recorded or not. It doesn't have to be. But I'm not that far from you. So there's a very real possibility. If you're serious, now we may not change at the end of the conversation, but I think men who disagree can have legitimate conversations and still get somewhere and learn a little bit. And I can listen. Now I pray by God's grace you would listen a little bit as well. But I can listen, man. I can listen. You know, and I love asking, answering questions. So shout out to you, for real. Okay, what was I trying to show? Here's what I want to show. I brought a stack of books here. Okay, and when I say a stack of books, ladies and gentlemen, I mean a giant stack of books. Let me adjust this camera. When I say stack of books, I mean a giant stack of books, right? Let me go here. And the reason I did these is because I think it needs to be discussed what are some good resources for these discussions. Now, here's the thing. We're running out of time, and we've got 2 freestyles. So I know this is not for everybody, and if it's not for you, it's okay. Just subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Brother Bereum. Subscribe to Sister Cherry in the house. Shout out to the Core in the house. And shout out to my man, Comment Mike. Apology accepted. This man is dope. He just got back from a trip and is in the middle of doing a bunch of stuff in his personal life, and yet has managed to crank out 2 videos that I need to get on. One dealing with the ISBHPK of Houston, and another dealing with IUIC Houston. Shout out to Comment Mike. Man, you just good people, man. Like, for real. I wish there was more people like you in the world. Okay, yeah, Tony Tabano's dropping that Zion Lex resource, I think. So shout out to you. That's in the live chat. Shout out to you, man, for real. Okay, so what we're going to do is something a little bit different here. I'm going to drop the beat, and I'm going to freestyle and I'm going to try to break down the books I have. So the pile of books will be what I'm going to freestyle about, and I'm going to try to tell you in a freestyle that this could totally go wrong. What each book is about and why you should like get with it. Okay? So let's do it. So this is a freestyle with like a bibliography. Does that make sense, everybody? Let me turn on the beat a little bit. It's a little too loud. Okay, I'm trying to get this volume right here. Shout out to Dr. Funny, who blessed me with these brand new headphones I have on. For real, man. You hooked it up. All right, let's start. You know what we do. Here's a book about the Pentateuch. And you know, you better try it. It's about the cultural environment. That's for real. It gets to the gritty. It even discusses Nefertiti, TD. Yo, I'm not needy because you guys helped me, and now I speedily go to the next book by David Rowe. He's not a Christian, but he got a little bit of soul when he speaks on it. The book is called Legend. Hey, yo, peep it. He's got some others, and they're all good. He wears that hat in the Egypt hood. I messed up a little. Here's the next book. It solves the riddle. What was the word of the Old Testament? If you want to know this book, you should be getting it. It's got Packer on the cover. You know that's good, there is no other like him. What's the next up? It's on net, so let me discuss. It's by Pritchard. It's a classic of the field. You gotta read this, you gotta keep it real. Here's another one, I met him at ETS. It's called Egypt and Bible History. Yes, first name is Charles, last name Ailing. He writes some great things. Be sure to be reading his books, you will like them. What's the next book? It's got some vitamins in it. When it comes to scholarly, peep it out now. I see Mike is calling me, so I'm turning down the gain. Hey yo, Wiseman, that was his name. He wrote on Oxford Pub. This book is dope, it'll give you a dub if you read it about the OT people. Go ahead, you could even take it to the steeple. Who's the next up? It's kind of evil. The Egyptian Book of the Dead, he has an eagle. I met a jackal, I met a dog head, but this is a weird book to read. I met red, but you read what it said. It's filled with curses, don't be misled. Don't believe it about Kim It. Also by Budge, you got to get it. The gods of the Egyptians, this is a resource. Peep it out now, we continue on course. What we talking about? Oh well, the OT parallels, they do exist. We cannot deny it. We gotta be truthful, we don't wanna lie it. Hey, yo, if you don't wanna buy it, get it on Amazon, or maybe borrow from your mom, or even the library. Next up is North. Some say he's scary, but I like this book in the interesting angle. Moses and Pharaoh, he will dangle. Interesting philosophical presuppositions into your ear hole. Speaks on humanism and its collapse. I continue with his raps. Next is Kitchen. He's got a lot of facts. The third intermediate period in Egypt. Ayo, Kitchen, here he is. He is serious. He is not delirious. He's dead now, but yo, it's furious. To read this book, you'll understand Egypt, and if you read some more, you'll understand Jesus. That's the Bible from the old to the new. Yo, here's a book, he's not written by a Jew, but John Currid is a real cool dude. 4 by K.A. Kitchen, read it, don't be rude, protrude, let me make a. The publisher of this book is Baker. Ancient Egypt and the Old Testament. Oh, the beat is over, but I'm still feeling it, chilling it, killing it. Hey, yo. Alright, well, we gotta do one more, because we didn't get to finish it. We gotta do one more. Are you guys ready for the next one? Let me switch this. Hold up. Let me get my sound right. There's a couple more books I gotta do. Let's see how this goes. Alright. Again, shout out to Dr. Funny for the brand new headphones. Yo, shout out to Dr. Funny for the headphones. Yeah, sorry about no sound, but I brought it back. Yo, Okay, y'all ready? It's all right. I got the sound back. Don't trip. Yo. Let's go to School C. This book is written by Yamauchi. His name is Edwin. He's a motorbike. Go ahead, Nate. You can read it. You'll like. It's tight. Yeah, read everything he write. Ha. In the middle of the night, Africa and the Bible. Jesus was not white, and we know this. Like a lotus flower, I will uncover, devour this book with great precision by Richard Hess, called Israelite Religion. Yes, indeed, archaeological and biblical survey. You got to read it. You got to see it. The table of content. It's obvious. It's not filled with nonsense. It's got some great type of content. The book is dope. You know, I'm glad that I spent the money to get it. You've got to get it. Don't forget it. When you got the page, don't let your 2-year-old rip it. And now I spit it about the A and E. The way they thought was kind of different, you see. Read John Bolton, he's got a PhD. Even though when he writes, I do not always agree. But he makes me think, so I will often read his ink. Yes, it talks about the conceptual world of the Hebrew Bible. And that's for real. That really don't rhyme. Excuse me, I'm messing up. Now I'm going and out of time. Hey, yo, peep it out now for the top of the mind. My name's John Mark, and you will find this book by Kenton Spark, divine, about the Hebrew Bible and the literature. Giving ya back. It's got a picture of the price tag, $24, although maybe I had gold a little bit to understand the text. Now, yo, what's the next from my larynx? Check it out now, I begin to flex. I like this book, it's probably my favorite in effect. The World Around the Old Testament by Bill Arnold. Hey yo, he's be repping it. All his books I really like. Brent A. Strong, he wrote what he write. The cover is white, but it's got some Assyrians, at least that's what I think. Hey yo, here he is. It's got a list of contribution. Hey yo, this book is dope, don't be boosting it, stealing it. It talks about the people and the places of the A and E. I'm feeling it. Yes, it's got an Edomite chapter, plus a chapter on Assyrians who went like a raptor, swooped down on the enemy, and plus the Hittites, they were not friendly to the Israelites. It talks about Ugarit and plus Egypt, so you cannot forget to call it commit, or the guy might be loud and be yelling and spitting at you. Hey yo, peace out, fool. Okay, well, that's the end of the freestyle. The last one was a little rough. But it's okay. We still got friends. All right, so here's the announcement, and then we're gonna call it a day. You guys ready for the announcement? I said I was gonna do this the other day, and I forgot. By the way, something else I need to give you guys a shout out on is, remember that show we did where we did a review of The Day Shall Come, which is the movie that mildly lampoons Hebrew Israelite type beliefs, and there was a buffering problem at the end. You guys remember that? Anyways, what I'm doing is I'm not going to be able to do a part 2 of that show. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and edit the live stream we've already done and then re-upload it, but with kind of edited features in it. So I think it'll be cool because it's going to have extra stuff that wasn't in the live stream. It's going to kind of cut to the chase. It'll probably be like a 26-minute video. And I think will be one of the few reviews is actually up on, YouTube of The Day Shall Come movie, which is still showing, and you can get it on Amazon Prime. I think more urban apologists should cover it. Okay, so here is the announcement, ladies and gentlemen. I'm grabbing something. I'm grabbing it. I'm grabbing this. Grabbing a box of stuff over here. All right, let me break it down here. So, you guys, a lot of you support through the super chat, but also a lot of you support through, Patreon, right? And so what we've done is Patreon has a new program where you can put your logo and stuff on various items, and then at various levels, if you give on Patreon, after a certain amount of months, you get the item. Now, I don't fully understand the system yet. This is a new thing. But what happens is I did go ahead and say yes to it. And so as part of what happens, if you are at certain levels, and you support on Patreon, which about almost 70 of you do, what will happen is you're going to get these items that I think are pretty cool. And I'm about to show you the physical version of it here in a second. But first, let me deal with Noel's question. Noel QB says vocab. Oh, it's not really showing up. It's not showing up, sorry. Vocab, you need to have an Amazon wish list, bro. Check this out, Noel QB. I actually do. I actually do have an Amazon wish list. However, I haven't made it public yet. So, Noel, I could make what it is. It's filled with resources of materials that I need that you may benefit from as well. And they're mainly books, of course. I tell you what, Noel QB, in the next week, what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to try to go ahead and I'm going to try, by God's grace, to go ahead and make my Amazon wish list public, and then I'll let you guys all know about it. Shout out to you, Cherry Love, again, and shout out to you, Michelle Marie, and we got a lot of Patreon folks in the house, all right, so I don't remember the levels and stuff, so I'm just going to show you what's here in the box. There's 3 items. The first, this is the back of it. This is the back of it. And here's the front of it. It's a sticker. You get a sticker of a stylized cartoon version of my face. Now, I had someone say, Vocab's a liar because in his little avatar, he's got a picture of him with a beard, and yet he doesn't have a beard. Well, guess what? This picture was prophetic. See what I'm saying? An apology accepted knows exactly what I need. Yeah, he's right. That's exactly right. But I got to give him the P.O. box first, Conman Mike. I'm going to add those to the list, Conman Mike, and then we'll put the P.O. box on it. So you're right, and that's exactly what we're going to do. So this is just a sticker, right? Yeah. Madam Hannah says, make it a bumper sticker. We've got a deal. This is like a thick vinyl sticker, so you actually could put this on your bumper. Hebrews could take it and put it on their bumper and then get in wreck on purpose or something like that. Anything could happen. DJs could put it on their turntables, you know what I mean? It's got a nice vinyl feel. It's not like a paper sticker. But that's really all it is. But I thought that was pretty cool, And people are like, oh, who is that? What's that? Whatever. So there's that. And then this is next. This is a poster of sorts. So this is something you could frame. And it's bigger than a piece of paper, but it's not a giant poster. But it's on nice, high, glossy, printer paper. And this is the other item for Patreon supporters. So it's like the logo stuff, but on this glossy paper printed out. And it comes in a tube that I already showed you guys. See what I'm saying? Shout out to Jonathan Sheffield who made all this stuff. Yeah, we should make a I Hate Vocab Malone stuff and sell it to Hebrews Lights. We totally should. So there's that, you can have that, and it's pretty cool. Then, last thing I'm going to show you, this is my favorite one right here. This is my favorite one here. So, box is empty now of that stuff. I like this one. It's all comfy packed in there. It's a blank coffee mug because, as the Hebrews Lights know, I'm a racist and my favorite color is white. Just kidding. Just had to say something to throw them off. Oh, shoot. I like my coffee with Apologetics. This had to be this because when you drink your coffee, it'll get you live, and then you can be Street Apologist live. It's just a basic mug, there's nothing necessarily to it, but it's got this nice little Street Apologist Live logo on it. I like that. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that beautiful? I think it is. Hi, folks. So I thought it was pretty cool, and this is all through Patreon. I didn't really have to do much work except send in some images. So that's now in the crib, and I'll tell you what. Hold on, just give me a second. If you guys want in advance to know the P.O. box of where to send stuff, I'm going to actually send it to you right now. I'm going to show it to you right now, okay? You guys ready? So if, for example, you know, Comment Mike mentioned about the, yeah, I know Caramel Crunk, but I like doing that. I troll them. They are going to edit it and take it out of context, but that's what's funny to do. I'm going to show you this, and then you guys can send stuff to me here. Anything there at this P.O. box, okay? That's right. That's it. Beautiful thing, isn't it? Vocab Loan, 2 South 35th Avenue, 6610. Phoenix, Arizona, 85009. So, that's the way you can send me stuff. And that's the way you can send me those SD... maybe, I don't know if you need to put those SD cards there again that you mentioned. Anyways, this is P.O. Box, so I'll put it out there on the Amazon list, but anything goes here for now. So that's it. So that's pretty much it. Looking forward to the day I get anthrax at that address. Yeah. I can see it. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that brings this episode to a close. Much love to you guys. Don't know when I'll be going live again. But when I do go live, I definitely want to discuss the debate and further once it drops, as well as some of the issues that were brought forward. I want to put out the review of the show. The movie, The Day Shall Come. We're working on that. As well as 2 street interactions that Con-Man Mike is working on. And I also want to make the Amazon thing public, like you guys said. And then, what else? There was something else I was supposed to tell you guys. Oh, if you're in Phoenix, ask me about our event this weekend I'm involved with. It's called Bless the Block, and it's a beautiful thing. And I'll close with that on the screen because I think it'd be fantastic if some of you were able to go. And so I'll close with that, and maybe I'll see some of you guys there. All right. And what I'll do is I'll just play some music while I show it on the computer there. Okay, just give me a second here. This is this Saturday if you're in Phoenix. I'm gonna show this here. Okay. Okay. All right. Oh, is that really all it does? Okay. Well, we're going to close with this. How do I do this here? Hey, thank you, Peanut. Wow, you guys demand a lot, don't you? I see what you're saying there, Brother Nate. Yeah, all I know is you're trying to kill me, and I'm not going to put up with it. All right. This is what I wanted to show you guys, and I'm going to play some music and close with this. I'll click on the info there in a second, but let me first get a Jonathan Soko track up here so we can play it as we close out. And again, thank you, Dr. Funny. I hope you noticed that I do definitely have the headphones that you provided, brother, on my head right now. And just massive shout out to you for that. Seriously. Shout out to everybody. This is a great live stream. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Oh, wait. How do I do this? I don't know if this is going to work, actually. I'm going to try to make it work. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Shout out, y'all. God bless. There's the event information. I was trying to play music while I did it, but it wouldn't do it. Oh, Dr. Funny wants to know, when is my birthday? Actually, it's November 5th. It's November 5th. So that is my birthday. That is the birthday. Yep. Thank you for asking. Let me just share this info with you guys right here. There it is. Thank you, Nate, for the super chat. All right, so come this Saturday if you can. There's the information. Just go to therebornchurch.com/blesstheblock7info. Like I said, B-Day is November 5th. Shalom, y'all.